Hello, come on, hello. I'm trying to get this to show up on my screen a moment. It's doesn't seem to want to work at the moment. Let's just, come on, here we go. Right. And it's okay. Hopefully I'll be able to see if anybody's watching and see any comments. Hello, can you let me know who you are? If you're watching, you can give me a thumbs up or say hello. I got two hello people. Two people are coming to watch me today. Hello. I hope, yeah, you can just about see everything you need to see. There we go. Hello, Carol. Hi, how are you? Obviously, I'm Trisha from Trisha's Cards and Crafts, and the card I'm going to make today, I still need this as well, is with the Rhino Ready stamp set. This is the card that I'm making, and it opens out like this. It's a fancy fold. So I've got some paper on this side that I haven't put on the back, and then here I've got some stamping for my sentiment inside, and we've got our nice little rhino image on the outside. So this is the card that we'll be making, and these are all the bits and pieces that I need to make it. So I used a sheet of A4 sheet of Pebble Path to make the card, and what I did, I marked 3 inches on one side. This is on the long side. 3 inches up from one side and 3 inches down from the other, and then I cut a line joining the two, so 3 inches from the bottom, 3 inches from the top, and cut a line in between the two. Okay, so that's how I made this card. Then I've scored it at 4 1/8 here, and then again 4 1/8 from there to there. Okay, so that's the size, and then you've got this little piece at the front, then this little flap as well, which is not 4 1/8, which is 3 1/2 approximately. Okay, so I did do that. Oh, yes, that's it. So, right, let's have a look what we've got. I've got, whoops, this is jumping all over the place, an envelope and my piece of card. I've got 3 pieces of the DSP. So each of these are different sizes. These two are the same width, but obviously different heights. So this one is just over 5 1/8 inches long, and they are 3 7/8 wide. So these are both 3 7/8 wide. That one's 5 1/8. And this one is 4 1/4 inches long. This one is 3 3/8 wide, and it's 3 1/2 inches long. Okay, then I've got a strip of white for the sentiment on the front. This is for my rhino on front, so it's for this part here. And then I've got a piece of green. This is Pretty Peacock green. Pretty Peacock because it matches the colours in the papers. And and that one is another scrap. It's around about 2 1/2, 2 3/4 inches wide. Is to cut this back circle out, which I'm going to be using the 2 3/8 inch circle punch for that one, and the other one is the decorative circle punch for this one, for the rhino. Okay, so those are all the pieces pieces of papers and things that I need to do this with. Right, let's work out how to do the cut these papers. So what you need, these have all got a certain amount so that it will leave an edge all the way around, a little border. And to get these right, I'm just going to move this up to give me the same amount of a double thickness of the border, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to draw a line along that diagonal, and that's the part I'm going to cut off. I'm going to do the same thing on this part here. So I'm going to make sure I've got the border there, and then I'm going to double it again by eye, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to draw my line, and that's where I'm going to cut on that one. And then finally for this one, I'm going to do the same thing again, lay it down, double my border, and then I'm going to turn it around while I'm holding it, and I'm going to draw my line. So those are the pieces that I'm going to need to cut. Please excuse my coughing. I've been home all week. Last week my husband and my daughter both had coughs and colds, and I thought I'd managed to escape, but last weekend I managed to come down with it. So I'm going to use my my little mini trimmer. You can use any trimmer that you've got. I just thought this would take up less space, and I'm just going to cut along those lines that I've marked. I'm so sorry. Hopefully it doesn't squeak too much as well. There we go. Yeah. So I'm feeling quite a bit better today, but it's mostly when I'm talking, which doesn't help when I'm trying to do a video. So, right, those are the pieces that I need to cut off. There we go. Now I'm going to stick these on with some Stampin' Seal. You can use your adhesive of choice. I just think for speed, while I'm doing videos, it's easier to use this, but you can also use liquid glue, or you can use tearing tape. I'm so sorry. Adhesive. There we go. So this one fits nicely now in here. I'm going to stick this one on here. So oh dear. Good job you can't see me because my eyes are watering like mad as well. It looks like I'm crying. All right, there we go. That's the tickles. Oh. I don't feel too bad in myself. It's just when the coughing starts. I know I've just cut it the wrong way. Oh no, I have. I should have another piece. I hope. Oh. Hang on. I don't really want to use the darker one. I can't really use that now. I used it on the wrong side, didn't I? Right. Let's cut another piece quick of this. So I think, what was it? 3. I think it's 3 1/4. 3 3/8. So there. Right, let's try this again. I'm going to put that at the bottom, I think. Yes, there we go. Move it up slightly. There we go. Hopefully now that will be on the right side. Let me cut this bit off again. Hopefully I'll get it right this time. There we go, that's better. I've cut too much off. I'm not doing very well here today. We'll get it right. Oh dear. Right. I'm sorry about this. Right. A little bit across. Down. Don't think it moved. There we go. Down a little bit. Right. Let's hope we get this one right. Because I'm running out of paper. Oh dear. Oh. Right. That bit will, this will do. Right, I'm going to stick this on. Whoops. There we go. Whoops. Oh. Right. There we go. Won't be quite the same as the other one, but we'll manage, we'll make do. There we go. So that's the base of the card. Right. Now for stamping. Right. I'm going to use, if I can find it, some Memento ink. Let me just move this slightly. Actually, I'm going to use Pebbled Path, I think. But I also need the Memento. Sorry about that. For the Rhino. Let me just make sure that this will fit in. Yes, just. So, can't make a mess. Can't afford to make a mess on this one. So, I'm going to use the Rhino stamp. Make sure it's nice and inked up on here. And I want to make it fairly centered. There we go. There we are. So he's done. And then I'm going to do on this piece, I'm going to put that away for now. Oh, actually, I want my bird. No, you can go on Pebble Path as well. There we go. Right. I'm going to use my Pebble Path. To do my Hope Your Birthday is Wild. I'll put you, whoops, gotta be careful with this one. Don't want any wobbles. Yay. There we go. And we're going to put a little bird. This one's a new pad, so it's very juicy. There we go. And then Hello Friend. I'm going to put that on here. There we go. So there's our stamping done. I just need to colour our Rhino. Let's get rid of you out of the way before I get more ink all over the place. And I need some blender pens now. Throwing everything all over the place today. One more. This one, I think. Right, I've got light smoky slate and dark smoky slate, and I've got dark grey granite, but I don't want dark grey, I want the light one. Whoops, got the wrong one. There it is, there's the light. So I don't need you. Right, so to colour him in, I'm using the light grey granite for just colouring this little bit of his tusk in. So just there, just to give it a bit of shadow. But I'm then going to use some of my colour lifter pen just to go on the edge, just to take away that edge off there. And then I'm going to use the light smoky slate to colour him in. So here we go. Just be careful with the eyes. You want him to look as though he's got some whites to his eyes. Just colour all of this in. Try and use the sorry, the brush end, because it would be just a bit quicker than using the other end. And this one's not too bad. It's reasonably new. It hasn't got too much. It hasn't been bent over too much. That's the only problem with the blender pens, the brush ends. They do tend to get worn quite quickly. There we go. So he's coloured in first with the light, and then with the dark, I'm just going to go over where I think there'd be shadows. So around his mouth and underneath. Here, then where the lines are on the side here, at the end of his tail, I'll just make that a bit darker. A little bit underneath his eyes. I always put a little bit at the top. Then I'm going to do the whole of his foot that's behind, the leg that's behind, and this one over here as well. And then just a little bit on his knees and a little bit at the bottom. There we go. And then I'll go back over with the light smoky slate, but with the bullet end this time. And just going a circular motion around where I put the dark, just to blend it all in again nicely. So we don't have any lines showing, hopefully. Oops. There we go. And I just want a little bit of the dark around the bottom of his tusk, horn, or whatever you want to call it, just so that it makes it stand out a little bit more. So there's my colouring done. Whoops. I would also like to colour in the bird, and I'm going to use, if I can get it out. Oops, here we go. Yeah, I've got the Parakeet Party. I'm just going to use this for the bird. And I'm going to use my marker pen rather than my blender pen for this. Just because he's quite small. There we go. Just to give him a bit of colour. There we go. There we are. So that's the colouring done. Now we need to use the punches. So this is the decorative, I don't know whether you can see that, it might be a bit shiny. The decorative egg edged punch. You can see it better that way, I suppose. And I'm going to just slide him in. Try and get it down so that he looks as he's on the floor. There we go. Cut that out. And then with my green, I'm going to use my 2 3/8 inch punch. And I'm going to cut that to go behind. Trying to waste as little as possible. There we go. So he'll be on there. And then what I need to do is cut out my sentiment, my hello friend. So to do this, I'm going to use my, if you think you've got pretty good eye, you can do this by hand anyway. I'm going to use my mini trimmer, my mini guillotine, and I try and edge up. I don't know whether you can see this, but there's like a ridge along there, that way. Can you see that? I think, yes. So there's like a small line that you can sort of follow along with this part is. And I line the writing up along there so that I keep it straight. Let's try and make sure that's straight. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to line my text along that line. Whoops, that moved. Hang on, let's just see how that looks. No, it does go up a bit. It did move. So let's try that again. So I'm going to put that along here. So I want this bit to stay. Ooh, it's fiddly now. Right, here we go. So that's going to be there. And that. Yes, that should be okay. There we go. That's a bit better. So that's going to be, you can see it better on there. Sorry about my squeaky guillotine. There we go. Right, and I'm going to stick this onto a piece of the green, and then I'm going to cut off around it as well. So let's just put this on, if I can get it to work. There we go. Stick this, doesn't matter which way up it goes, around here, near to the edge, so at least I've got one straight edge. And then I'm just going to use my scissors to trim around. Again, I could use the guillotine again, but it is very squeaky. And then along here, there we go. So we've done our sentiment there, and now we can stick our rhino to the backing circle. There we go. And these are more or less the same size circles, but because it's got the decorative edging on it, you can just about see around it, so it'll stand out a little bit more. Now, the reason I had this colour was because that way it showed up a little bit better, but hopefully you're not going to be able to see so much of the green now. But I'm going to put this up onto with dimensionals and put some on here. 2, 3, and I'm also going to put some on here, but I'm only going to put it on one side, on this side. So I just want a dimensional on that side because this bit will be sat on the circle. So I'm just going to put, if I can, there we go, put a little bit of glue on there as well. Right, so we can put this together now. So he's going to go just slightly to the side. And he's saying, hello, friend. I'll put it about here. I moved him over a little bit. And I've got some, what can we use? These are quite nice. Should have another one as well. Should have got them out ready. I have sent for some more gems because they're done. Didn't put any on the other one I made. Right, we'll use these. These are the ones. These are the red and green adhesive back pearls, but they've also got some gold and some silver. And I think that green will be okay because it'll show up nicely against the pretty peacock. And it's not too green, that's in your face too much. Right, here's my Take Your Pick tool. Got a little bit of putty left on the end. I'll put one on here, one slightly off there, and one there or over there. Over here. There we go. One over there. I do use the red as well. They're quite nice. So these are the green, red and green adhesive back pearls. So you've got the gold, silver, green and red. They're not very green, but there we go. They work. I'll put that back in it. There we go. So actually I could put some on here as well, because this is the other one I've made. And he hasn't got anything on him. So we'll put some more on here as well. One there. One over there. And one over here. There we go. So you've got some as well now. You've been embellished. The only thing I've got left to do, which I did on the other one, is the envelope. I can find it. So this is the envelope that I did, and I put a little bird on the envelope. And now, there's that envelope. This is my envelope for this one. So we'll just put a little bird on here with some Pebble Path. Move you out to there a second. Nearly there. Hopefully I'm not going to get this all over my fingers. There we go. Put a little bird there. And there we go. So that's our card. Our nice fancy fold card. I didn't colour in the bird on this one. I just left him as he was. So I don't know which one would you prefer? To have the bird coloured in or not, I don't know. I quite like him. It's nice and bright. So those are the two cards and envelopes. All done. Everything's falling all over the place. Right. And there we go. I don't know, it does look quite nice with the darker colour background as well. But it would have been nicer if I'd managed to get it the right way around. So thank you very much for joining me. If you liked it, can you give me a thumbs up? And hopefully I will see you again next week. And the sweet I'm going to be using next week is the Joy of Christmas. So I'll explain a bit more on Monday. I'll be putting a video on YouTube on Monday with the products that I'll be using next week. And hopefully I will see you. Well, I'll be posting another video on Sunday, which is my final card of the week for the Rhino Ready set. And it's this card here. So I'll be making this one on Sunday. I'll be showing you how I made it. Again, we've got our hello friend and our little bird there, and he's also on the inside and on the envelope again. So, but this time I used the speckled dots, adhesive back dots, I thought that would look so nice with this, and I've used some blending in the background with a nice silhouette of the tree. And that one is from the dies that I hadn't realised when I first decided to use this set, that unfortunately the dies are no longer available. They were only available during Celebration, and I hadn't realised that then. So I've only used the dies to cut that one card, but hopefully you could use foliage punches or dies that you already have to be able to make that. It's just for a silhouette, really. You don't necessarily, you might even have one with a tree on that you could use. So anyway, thank you very much again for joining me, and I will hopefully see you again soon, hopefully without a cough. Thank you. Bye bye.